I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamsin Entertainment. I know it's been almost a year since I uploaded my last video. I'm sorry. Life was bad, now life is okay, and as usual, I just need to get out of my own way. This video is going to be doing exactly that. I made a New Year's resolution, but I want to talk to you about it in the new studio. What, you think I was going to snap my fingers or something? That's so cliche. So, welcome to the new studio. These are most of the autographs I've gotten. Some of them are upstairs on DVD cases. Off camera, I have my tabletop and card games and the Legos I'll be using for my brick films. So I mentioned a New Year's resolution before. It started out being extremely attainable, and I decided to retweak it to be a challenge so I can actually work for something. Only one of them is not going to change. Have 100 subscribers by the end of the year, finish a Deadpool costume I've been working on by June, and interview one fellow cosplayer. Those goals are pretty attainable. So I changed the first and the third, have 500 subscribers by the end of the year, and interview 10 cosplayers by the end of the year. Something a little more intimidating for myself. Talking to people in cosplay is going to be the most difficult of the task, because in general I have difficulty just walking up to anyone and just talking to them. Even though I know cosplayers for the most part are very willing to talk about their costume and how they made it, or where they purchased it, or why they made it, what inspired them, why do they love this character so much. I just need to get out of my own way. I also want to talk about changing the way I review movies just a little bit. They're still going to be pretty similar to other reviews, but I want to incorporate brick films more often, which is stop motion with Legos, because I think there's something there, and especially with the fact that a lot of people get dinged for using footage. I'll probably have like a disclaimer before the video or something like that. And in making brick films part of my reviews, they're going to be slightly longer, and I will have spoilers in them. What some channels do, the first portion of the video will be my general thoughts, non-spoilers, and the second half will be an in-depth look and nothing but spoilers. And I'll definitely give a warning when that's going to happen. I think I want to do this with movies from now on. I don't want to see a movie opening weekend and then just have it out within a day or two. I'd like to take a little more time and actually give you some good quality work. I want to start releasing videos on Sunday. I'm not sure what time. I know YouTube has a capability of scheduling something to be uploaded, so I'll figure that out. And the next movie that's going to be up, I know in a previous video I said Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. It has Lego stop motion in it, and one of the characters I put in is female. I don't want to subject you to my horrible rendition of a female voice. I'm talking with a friend, and hopefully she'll be able to do the voice work and send it to me either via text or email. So until my friend does the voice work for Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets, the next review I'm going to post is Atomic Blonde. I'd also like to take the time to reiterate something I said in my Moana video. A lot of people use the word MacGuffin for any kind of object in a movie that's part of the plot or drives the plot, or even just like the beginning of a plot. Jamsin, at least for me, started out as being just a word that meant anything, much like the slang word John. I'm going to use Jamsin in place of MacGuffin. Finally, I would like to talk about what are my goals for Jamsin Entertainment. I had the idea 11 years ago while I was still in college. The idea was to simply have a video game store, because at the time I was just obsessed with video games. And then it evolved into, well, why not video games and tabletop and card games? Because at some point I switched. I had a group of friends that played tabletop and card games, and I really got away from video games. But I wanted to have a combination of the two somehow. And I also wanted to have arcade machines in there. It was too bloated of an idea. And then through the years, I eventually came to, like, why don't I review movies? If you've seen me from the beginning, I've been experimenting, and I've been updating and reformatting. I think everyone does that with any profession that they're in. But I still have the idea and dream of a retail store. And the dream has always been to have a retail store, and to live above it. I'm going to share with you a picture I drew. Yes, it's crude, I know. It's part of a exercise that I got watching a TED Talk. I'll put in the link below in case you want to watch it or even do it for yourself. The concept's pretty simple. On one half of the picture, you draw your current state. The other half of the picture, you draw your desired state. I'm still working in big box retail, and I don't want to work for anyone for the rest of my life, except for myself. So my desired state is, like I said, have a retail store and then live above it. I just need to come up with an actual plan to get there. And in the middle, as you see, there's arrows pointing from the current state to the desired state. See it, believe it, act on it. I've done the first two quite often. Now I'm going to push myself to do the third one, act on it. Because I do believe we live our own stories. I'll use Game of Thrones as a reference. Ned, and spoiler alert, when Ned was at his execution and he had the choice of sticking to his guns or giving in to King Joffrey's wishes, which is basically saying that he was a traitor and that King Joffrey is the rightful king, Ned did something called character suicide. What that means is he completely abandoned all of his principles for the greater good. And before his head was chopped off, he was already dead. For me personally, it would be character suicide if I worked for someone else for the rest of my life. I have nothing against anyone that wants to work for someone else. That's great. More power to you. That's just not me. I really have to work towards my dream. If you like what you saw, like it. If you think other people would like it, share it. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. And remember, live your imagination. And thank you for watching.